Welcome back to Las Vegas. It's Alex talking to the stars of the Strip, whether that be those on stage or those in a kitchen on stage, because that really is what Vegas is about now. Great food, great dining. And I found a gem for you today. It's always nice to meet a new chef. Nice to talk to ANDRÉ Rochat. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Really nice to come here. I'm always after finding somewhere new and exciting, and you really have got a wonderful restaurant before the food's even served, because we're right at the top of the Palms, which is probably the coolest casino and hotel in Vegas. You probably agree with that.
I agree 100%.
And you've probably got the coolest restaurant because it's right at the top. You've got an amazing 360 view of Las Vegas. And what a thrill to eat great food in a beautiful location.
Well, we're very fortunate, very lucky to have that place. And because of the location of the Palm, we're not really on the strip, but we're not really off the strip, which make it very convenient for local alike to access the property. You know, on a weekend, the strip is so congested, you know, and local people don't want to go on the strip. But that way, we have both of the world right there.
We're going to talk about Alize in a moment, which is your restaurant here. Let's talk about the Palms first. It's been so highly talked about on all those reality shows because it's the home of the Playboy Mansion here in Las Vegas and the outdoor spas, as we can see even from here where we're sat today. It really is the place to be in Vegas, isn't it?
Las Vegas, especially the Palm, is the playpen of the world, really. You know, you see things that you'll see nowhere else. Not only what's offered to the customer, but because of the venue that we have at the Palm. This is the only place in the world today with a Playboy Club, you know, and Playboy bunnies and all what's going on. On top of that, you have an Italian restaurant, and you also have a nightclub with a ceiling that open to the star, you know. So and it's very unique, very unique. You have the pool. Try to get to the pool on a weekend. It is so packed, you know. They have that thing on Friday that they call something like Skip Friday or something like that, whatever. You know, when you make an excuse not to go to work, then you go to the pool at the Palm, you know. And it's absolutely insane, and you see more beautiful people than anywhere else, you know. It's for men and women alike. You want to have a good time. You want to have good food. The Steakhouse 9 is a great steakhouse. Chef Berry is fantastic. Italian food at Nove. You have the Little Buddha, which is a part of the Buddha Bar in Paris that serves great Asian food. We also have on the tower, on the other tower, Kerry Simon. We have a little place by the pool there, which is very unique also. So as small as the Palm property is, it offers probably more than some of the big properties, you know.
You wouldn't necessarily associate Playboy with class, but of course there's a lot of money coming here and they're prepared to pay for a good meal. Of all the fine dining restaurants I've been to, I think this is probably one of the best value because of the view and the experience you get. Is that really important to you to make it accessible?
Absolutely. You know, I came to Las Vegas in 1970. My first restaurant was opened in 1980. So I know probably more than any of those chefs about the local people and also the tourists, you know. And I tell my crew, you have to give people their money worth. If you're gonna buy a $3 hamburger, it should be a $3 hamburger, not a $2 hamburger. And it's the same thing that we do here, you know. I did my apprenticeship in Lyon. So I'm still very classic, you know, and I don't care what anybody says. You make a Dover sole the right way, it's fabulous. You cook a filet with great peppercorn and a cognac sauce the right way, it's fabulous, you know. So some of those nouvelle cuisine with all those little knick-knack, those little shishi and all that, well, it's fine and dandy, and some restaurants doing very well with it, you know. It's not what we do, you know, and younger clientele like those new Asian food and all that. Older clientele like more classic cuisine. But everybody like classic cuisine because it's fresh ingredient and it's all about flavor and taste, you know.
What is interesting about Vegas in the last few years, I've noticed that the Guy Savoirs and the Joel Robuchons and the Alain Ducasse have turned up here with their name above the door, but they're not necessarily in the kitchen, are they?
I think I'm actually one of the few that's in the kitchen every day. You know, Steve Wynn made a point to have chefs in his restaurant that work there, and I think that's great. Bartolotta, Alex, all great chefs. But the rest, it's the name, and I can't blame them when you make the paycheck that you make for your name. Hey, more power to you.
I think we've seen in Britain with people like Gordon Ramsay, though, that you can only take that so far. I think he opened 16 restaurants up, 4 have closed, some are struggling, because I think people work out eventually, what am I paying for? If you're not there and you're buying into a name, it's kind of a bomb deal, really, because part of the thrill of eating in a restaurant like this at Alize is that I know you are in the kitchen and you're going to pop out from time to time and I'm going to see you.
Absolutely, and that's, I think, we go through, how can I say, it's like now everybody wants to have the big name. Well, we're going through some difficult times, so you're going to see some of those big names go now, and then the wheel turns. The wheel turns. People are no fool, and your restaurant is only as good as the chef that you have in the kitchen, and if the main chef is not there, then the other chef, well, he's going to be there 1 year, 2 years, then another one come in, and so forth and so on, and then the food is not the same anymore. And people will come back and say, well, the food is not the same. You don't fool the people. You don't fool your customer. They know. If I change something on the menu, they know it. And they'll call me on it. So it's you have to respect the customer. And it's all come down to the old tradition of service, of quality. We're in a people business. When people will come to your restaurant, they want to recognize the people. They want to know that they're going to be treated well because they know you. They know what you want. We have customers. We know what they want. When they come in, boom, it's right there. And they want to feel comfortable. They don't want to feel like it's so stiff and it's so cold. No, we want you to come here, and by the time you leave, we want you to say, this is the best time we had, this is the best food. We want you to stay 3 hours if you like it. The problem today is people eat and run, especially in Las Vegas. They eat and run. Where? For what? We forget the time where you spend some time at a table with your friend and family. Great meal, great service, nice atmosphere, good company, talk about everything and nothing, and just enjoying yourself and your company. I think we're forgetting that, and it's a shame.
That's very French, though, isn't it? It's not very Las Vegas.
No, but in 2 days, if you look at it, where are we running? Where are we running for what?
Before we talk about your food, I'd just like to look out the window at the moment because we've got this beautiful view from the 55th floor of the Palms. You were here 40 years ago. That wasn't there, that wasn't there, that wasn't there, this wasn't there. What was here when you started?
When I came here, there was 220,000 people in town. To go from one casino to another on the strip, you used to take a cab because they were that far apart. The Tropicana was there. Where the Mandalay Bay, that was a small hotel there, and I can't think of the name, that was imploded. And then after the Tropicana, you had Caesar Palace. Before the Caesar Palace, you had the Dune, which is the Bellagio today. Then Caesar Palace. Then you had the 2 small hotels. One was the Sleepers, and the other one I don't remember. And then you had the Stardust, Silver Sleeper, the Stardust, across the Stardust, the Riviera. Coming back on the other side, the Desert Inn, the Sands, and that was it. Where the Paris is today, the Paris and the Bali, there used to be a little motel called, there was the Galaxy, and another one, 2 little motel there. And that was it, basically.
Do you think you were here during the golden age of Vegas? I mean, they'll say the golden age is now with all these new multi-billion-pound casinos and resorts, but you were there during the fabulous Sinatra days and the Elvis days when they were performing nightly. That must have been magical.
It was. You know everybody. You know, and I opened a bakery coffee shop on 73. And all the big stars used to come to my coffee shop, you know. And I knew everybody. I could go anywhere. Everything was free. Hotels like Stardust would have lunch shows starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 o'clock in the morning. Free. Everything was free, basically, you know. And it was a good a friendship everywhere, you know. And it was fun. And you have the big star, you had big shows, you know. And sure, if you want to have a good seat, you know, you have to tip the maitre d' $100, you know. But it was totally different. You know. And it's a restaurant where you had the gourmet rooms on those hotels, you know, with the maitre d' with the frou-frou shirt and the Ville Oscar and the Chateaubriand and all that, you know. But it was fun. It was not complicated like today, you know. Today everything is too complicated. There's just too much rules, regulation, and the traffic, and this and that, you know, and too much politics everywhere, you know.
It's a business, isn't it?
It's too much. It's too much.
Indulge me in one story with one of those people that you met, maybe a Sinatra or an Elvis or somebody like that, who impressed you the most.
Oh God, you know, my first restaurant downtown opened in 1980. And I used to have two menus, one at $15.95 and one at $18.95. You know, it's a far cry from today. But I had everybody from at the time, Juliet Prowse to Frank Sinatra. We had people like Mr. Ayacoca, Mr. Ford. We have all the big politicians. We had everybody, you know. And Frank Sinatra would sit at one table, you know, with a couple of people, and he had two bodyguards at the other table, you know. And basically, you know, I like to people take care of them like everybody else, you know, and I don't want the rest of people bother them when they eat, you know. I just want them to enjoy their meal like everybody else, you know. But things were simple. It was nice, you know. We had all the big producers from Los Angeles and all that, you know, and it was fun. It was nice. You know?
It seems a bit of a shame that some of the glamour has gone from Vegas. People go to these big shows now in jeans and T-shirts and shorts. In the old days, it wasn't like that, really, was it?
No, in the old days, you had to dress to go to a show, you know. And unfortunately, today, because of the economy, first of all, and because of what's going on around the world, you know, even here, sometimes we have to let people in short, you know, and flip-flop, you know. And that it's hard to say no because the casino send them and they just blew a couple $100,000 on the table and you have to take care of them, you know. So the table next to it that's in suit and tie look at you and says, what are you doing here, you know? Right. But you know, and when the economy is the way it is, you take everybody's money, you know. You can't be picky anymore, you know.
Is it true as well that in this town more than anywhere else in the world you can't necessarily judge because the man in the shorts could be a multi-millionaire?
No, you can't. And one time I was having dinner in a restaurant at the MGM, and the table next to us, two couple, and the ladies very slutty dress, and the guys in short and flip-flop right off the pool, you know. And a nice restaurant like that, you shouldn't let those people in. But yet, I see a Magnum Le Pen and a Magnum Crystal. Well, Magnum Le Pen, 82, $12,000. What are you going to do, right? So you give them the best seat in the house, and that's it, right? So that's the way it is, you know, and it's what's amazing on this town. You see it all. You see the guy well-dressed, suit and tie, that look like $1 million, that doesn't have $100 in his pocket to spend. And you see the guy that wouldn't let in and then just have more money than you know what to do with, you know.
I suppose that's modern Vegas, really, isn't it? I notice here you've got the most tremendous wine collection. Is that as important today as it was? Are people still caring about the wine that goes with their food?
Yes. Although, you know, 2 years ago you could see $200-300 bottle of wine on every table, that today it's more like 70, 80, you know. But you still have you still have the people that can come in and spend their money, especially during big convention, where a deal is being made over the table, millions of dollars, people is going to spend money in good wine. So it's very important for a restaurant like us to have wine from $50 a bottle to all the way to the Romane Conti 1985 and so forth and so on. A large collection of big bottles and all that. You have the choice. Your people are pleased because they'll find what they want, that they want to spend money or not. And that's important. You want to have the choice.
The centre of the restaurant is where you keep your wine, and it's about the size of my hotel room. Roughly how much money are we looking at there in wine?
Well, we have actually 3 cellars. This is the main one up here. Then you have a cold wine cellar here. We have one on the floor under there, another big cellar, and then another storage downstairs. So roughly this cellar is about 6,000 bottles here. The other one's about 4, and the other one downstairs about 3. So, give and take at any time, we'll have about 15,000, 18,000 bottles on hand, So
you're never going to run dry, are you?
No, never. And my general manager kind of give me a hard time because I have a tendency to spend a little too much money on wine, and I love to go to the auction, and then I get a little crazy because I love wine, I love cognac, I love good food, and I love to tell my customer, see what I got, I have it, and for me it's fun.
André, it's so clear to me that you're French, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, nobody does food and drink like the French. You just seem to be born with this innate taste for good quality. I don't know whether you agree.
Yeah, well, my mother was the best cook. And when I was in school, I was a terrible student. And my father says, I said, I'm going to quit school. So my father said, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'll be a cook. And that was it. And they took me to a place called Léon de Lyon in Lyon. That's where I started to work. I was 14. I never went back, And
40 years later, you've got this tremendous restaurant here. It must be a great thrill to know that your name is above the door. The Alize is renowned here as being a quality restaurant and just fabulous food. Thank you for my meal this evening, starting with the foie gras. You don't get any better than that, do you, really?
No, that foie gras is one of my favorite. I've never been caviar crazy, but give me foie gras, you can wake me up in the middle of the night and have foie gras.
Same here. I find caviar very pretentious. I don't get it really.
No, we have another restaurant called ANDRÉ also at the Monte Carlo, smaller, very quaint, and it's the same thing there. We like to. We want people when they leave to say, hey, this was the best, and that's the best money we spend in Las Vegas.
ANDRÉ Rochat is a huge star here in Las Vegas and has one of the most tremendous views of any restaurant I've been to, and just a wonderful dining experience. I can definitely recommend Alize. It's just wonderful and good value as well. I can't say that about every restaurant, but you get your money's worth both in the view and the food. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you very much.